Do you know who is the best free kick taker of all time? If you thought about Ronaldo, Messi or David Beckham, then you are wrong. Actually, the greatest free kick taker is someone named Juninho Pernambucano. I'm sure you've heard his name before, but if you didn't, then you should know that he has the most free kick goals ever scored in football. 77 to be exact. He was so good at free kicks that when he had a shoot from a set piece, everyone knew it's a goal before he even kicked the ball. It was unfair. He was so crazy that almost half of his goals came from free kicks. And to think that he did it in an era with Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho and Rivaldo as his teammates makes it even more insane. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the story of the greatest free kick taker ever, Juninho Pernambucano. Juninho was born in Recife, Brazil, in January 1975. And as you know, football in Brazil is like a religion. They treat it like something holy. Because of that, Juninho fell in love with football from a very young age. And he didn't need much time to develop his incredible natural talent. The kid had that pure Brazilian DNA, and skills were just a formality for him. Obviously, he started his career at his local club, Sport Recife, quickly establishing himself as a rising Brazilian talent. He then won 2 regional titles with his local club, and around this time, when he was 13, he reportedly started to practice his free kicks. His trademark technique is the dead ball or knuckleball. Juninho said that he was inspired by Marcelino from Corinthians. He was the one using this specific technique. Still, his free kicks got really insane when he went to France, but we will come back to this later. In 1995, Juninho made a move to the Brazilian club Vasco da Gama. He won several trophies in his first season there, including the Brazilian Championship in 1997 and 2000, the Copa Libertadores in 1998 and many others. Now think about this, he had Edmundo, Romário and Juninho Paulista as teammates. But even with those on his team, Juninho Pernambucano was still Vasco's fan favorite. And it's not for no reason. His free kicks were only getting better and better at this time. Goalkeepers and defenders were afraid to make falls outside the box because Juninho was taking free kicks. For him, it was like taking a penalty. Watching his free kicks even today is amazing. The position in which he was fouled didn't matter. Everything that mattered was that Juninho was taking the free kick. In 2001, he left Vasco da Gama after a judicial conflict, but for the Vasco fans, it didn't matter. They still loved him because of his abilities. Juninho played 295 games for Vasco da Gama, and he joined Lyon after. But before we continue with his journey at Lyon, I'm going to trick you. Just look at the screen and do as I tell you. Focus on my voice, subscribe and like the video. I know you want it. As I was saying, before Juninho joined Lyon, they had never won the French championship. He was so good that after his arrival, the club went on to win the league 7 years in a row. And remember when I told you that he perfected his technique in France? Yeah, this guy broke football in France. His free kicks were the most powerful and accurate in the world. And do not think that his knuckleball technique was the only one. He was also curving the ball like crazy when he needed to. But his trait as a set-piece specialist wasn't his only good quality. As a midfielder, he was also a great passer, providing many assists, which made him a great player overall, not just a great free kick taker. Because of that, Lyon's manager Gerard Huller made Juninho team captain. At Lyon, he scored 100 goals, 40 of which were only from free kicks. Just insane. His last one at the club was a stunning free kick against Olympique Marseille. Juninho was also a very good goal scorer in the Champions League. He matched Sonny Anderson's goal record in UCL with 16 goals, only to later become Lyon's all-time top Champions League goal scorer with 18 goals. But despite his prolific time at the club, he left in a very pessimistic manner. In 2009, Juninho had requested to terminate his contract at Lyon, even though he still had 1 more year left in his contract. During his last press conference with Lyon, he left without saying a word. And after Lyon, he went to Al Gharafa on 17th of June 2009. He signed a $2.5 million contract for 2 years. In his first season there, he won the league title, the Qatari Stars Cup and Qatar Crown Prince Cup, completing the treble. He finished the season with Player of the Year from the Qatar Football Association. In 66 games, he scored 25 goals. In April 2011, he returned to Vasco da Gama, and he scored on his second debut, of course. And guess how? Yes, through a free kick against Corinthians. In July 2012, he renewed his contract for 6 more months, just to please Brazil's eyes with his free kicks for one last time. Or maybe not. 1 month later, in August, he played against his first club, Club do Recife. And guess what? He again scored from a free kick. It's honestly funny at this point. In December 2012, Juninho went to the MLS to showcase his skills on the North American continent, but that didn't go as well as he expected. Juninho only played 13 games for his new club, New York Red Bulls, providing only 4 assists. It was clear that the end was coming, but what's truly crazy about this guy is that no matter what happened, his free kicks were only getting better and better. I have never seen anything like this. There is taking a free kick like a penalty, and then there is this, which is impossible to explain. I remember when I tried to score free kicks like Juninho. I went to the football pitch and tried for hours upon hours. The most I could get is a weak knuckleball shot, and to me it was a real struggle. I just couldn't understand how he did it. But for Juninho it was something easy. All he needed was one try, and everyone knew that the ball was going in. Man, his free kicks are just astonishing. Well, we now get to the end of Juninho's career. In July 2013, he returned to Vasco da Gama for a 3rd time. He again scored and assisted on his debut for the team. In his 3rd stint at Vasco, he played 16 games, he scored 2 goals and provided 7 assists in Brazil's league. In February 2014, Juninho retired from football. At Vasco da Gama, he won 6 titles, he played 393 games and he scored 76 goals. After his retirement, he didn't exactly part ways with football. Juninho worked as a football commentator for a Brazilian channel, a stint which ended in 2018. As for his international career, it is sadder than his club career. Many people think that Juninho never reached his full potential with Brazil. And to be honest, he was very unlucky. But this is why. In 2002, Juninho was already considered one of the best Brazilians in the world, but he was still not selected for the national team. He missed both the 2002 World Cup and the 2004 Copa America because of a recurring knee injury. And to make it worse, Brazil won both of these tournaments. Juninho, however, was absent. But not everything was so bad, as he was selected for the Brazil squad in 2005, when they won the FIFA Confederations Cup. Juninho even scored a free kick, of course, against the 2004 Euro champions, Greece. He went to the World Cup 2006 with Brazil as well, and he once again showcased his talent by scoring an incredible goal against Japan. But when Brazil lost against France in the quarterfinals, Juninho announced his international retirement, making space for the upcoming Brazilian talents. And that was the story of the greatest free kick taker in football. Although appreciated, he is massively underrated until this very day, and I hope I did him justice with this video. The enigma of Juninho's underrated status doesn't lie in his achievements, but rather in the fact that very few people recognize his brilliance. If there was a football museum, Juninho would be placed alongside the greatest footballers ever. Not only for his free kicks mastery, but also for his understanding of the game. He was a genius, and surely a role model for every free kick taker. We should look up to his legacy more often, as seeing someone that good go understated is a crime.